Hi Ty, hey everyone at the site. I'm here today. I'm gonna teach you how to make gravy. Got my broth going right now. Right now I'm using a little chicken broth. Ordinarily I would use the juices from the turkey. But since I don't want to cook a full turkey for this demo here, I'm just going to use a little can of chicken broth. Usually I use for my spices of my turkey, I have my own special seasoning blend, my turkey rub. And in this turkey rub, I've got garlic powder, onion powder, rubbed sage instead of ground sage, and paprika. And what I'm doing right now is I just mixed up my cornstarch. I prefer cornstarch when I'm doing gravy. I think it makes it smoother and there's no lumps in the gravy. And I'm about to add some of my seasoning blend. I just made a new batch of my turkey rub. And this turkey rub is excellent. I always get many compliments from my turkey, so I'm going to add a couple of teaspoons of my seasoning in here to make this gravy. And I'll kind of stir that. I need a spoon. So this is all nice and hot. I'm going to turn this down just a little bit. And gravy's pretty simple. It doesn't have to be hard. You usually need some sort of form of fat in it. So to help it, I'm usually a little pat of butter, but this is chicken broth. There's a little bit of fat in it. They've added that in. Another thing I like to do, and I'll share this recipe on the website as well, is when I make my green bean casserole, I use my own cream of soup mix, and I make this up. It equals 1 can of cream of chicken soup. Sorry, Campbell's, I make my own. I usually keep this stuff on hand. I use it in tater tot casserole. I also will make a batch up for chicken pot pie. So I like the taste. It's a very nice taste. And as you see, we're like ready to add the cornstarch. And that's going to thicken up our little gravy. And it doesn't quite look the way it normally does. Usually it's a little bit greener when I make it with the turkey. Another tip for your turkey, when you're basting your turkey, is with my turkey rub, I usually add 1 Vidalia onion. Yeah, Vidalia. I said Vidalia, Ty. I know how you love that. It's from Georgia, for all of you people that don't know what a Vidalia onion is. And if a Vidalia is not available, then I'll use another form of sweet onion, and I usually stuff my turkey with celery as well. So that helps bring out a lot of the flavors of the turkey. And I usually stuff my turkey skin. Underneath the skin, I'll put a stick of butter. Of course, I cut it down into little pats. And I put the butter in there. And then I put butter on top of the skin too, so that my turkey rub will adhere to the skin. So I'm going to add my cornstarch now. I'll slowly pour that in there. I usually get lots of compliments on my turkey. Everyone seems to love the taste. And I also get a lot of compliments on my green bean casserole. Maybe it's that homemade cream of soup mix. So we're going to let this get in there, and we're going to let this thicken up. It usually takes about 4 to 5 minutes for the cornstarch to thicken it up. I prefer to use cornstarch rather than flour. You can use less cornstarch as opposed to flour. So for 2 tablespoons of flour, you would use 1 tablespoon of cornstarch instead. And sometimes I'm kind of a Rachel Ray type cook. If I didn't add enough cornstarch, I might add some more. Again, a good tip for the cornstarch is to be sure to add cold water instead of warm water. Warm water helps you make those lumps, and you don't want lumpy gravy. You want your gravy to be smooth. This is a little bit watery than normal, so it's not quite thickening up yet the way that I would like, but I'll give it a minute or two more. Gravy for me is one of those things where I'll make up the cup with cornstarch and water, and then if it's not thick enough for me, I'm gonna make another cup. Only this time I'll put a little less water and a little more cornstarch. And it's thickened up somewhat. Now, some people would be satisfied with this consistency here. Let me give you a good view of that. But that's too soupy for me. So I'm going to add a little more cornstarch right now. I put about 1/4 of a cup of water, and then I'll add 1 more tablespoon of cornstarch to the cold water. Now mix it up in there so I don't get lumps in my pot. That's really important. I'm doing like 2 things at once here. So I'm gotta stir my gravy that's in there. I don't want it to stick or disintegrate. And you see it's at a very strong boil. And I just added the cornstarch, so now our boiling like pretty much stopped. And as you see, I have no lumps in this gravy. And that's why I like using cornstarch for it. And it's already thickening a little more than it was. And this is about as thick as most people, when you go to their house, they have it about like this. I'll just slowly pour off of there. Yep, that is a little more thick than it was before. Since Ty is a lover of gravy, I know he appreciates this demo, didn't it? Good, Ty? I know you just want to come have dinner with me. Oh, my mashed potatoes recipe has a secret ingredient, and you know what? I won't share it. If you're interested in knowing what it is, you'll have to come to dinner.